Hello, welcome. So friends, in this video we are going to create a new integration where we will again call the BI report and will send the data into ATP table. But remember, all of the integration what we have created where we have hard coded the value. So now in this integration, instead of hard coding the value that like report path, report output format, all these things, what we will do, we have created one lookup. In this lookup, we have added the values. So suppose we have two different integration for calling different BI reports. So here what we will do in the lookup created XX invoice report lookup. In this lookup we have added the values like the first record you can see report code, that is INV report. It's known as that invoice report. And here I have given the path of the invoice report path, and the SFTP directory for the invoice, and the report file prefix. If you remember that we are creating the file and sending file over server or somewhere else, we are using the file prefix, right? So if we require that invoice in the XX invoice report is the file prefix, and this is the date concatenated, right? Instead of that, we can use different file prefix for different integration and the report output format, all these things here, right? So I have added here only. So instead of each and every time going and adding the adding the values in the mapping only, we can directly use from the lookup only, so that in runtime we can change the values, right? And in next video I will use a scope for handling the exception everything. So let's begin. So suppose here you can see we have one the latest file we created, report integration, where we are placing the file over SFTP server, right? So let me make a clone of that only. So clone here, and here instead of like here report file, and I will use with lkp lookup, right? So what I will do, I will make a clone of that. Here you will see the previous integration which we created. In that integration we hard coded the values in the variable like assign variable, and that variable we are using everywhere. So instead of providing the hard coded value in that variable, we will use lookup. So now here if you will see in this default variable what we added is that, so here if you will see we added the var report path hard coded value. So instead of providing hard coded, here we will use the values from lookup only, right? So let's do the changes. So instead of here these values, what we will do, we have to remove this one, and we have to use lookup function. We require the lookup values function for getting the values from lookup, right? So here we need to select. So as I have only one lookup, this one in my system, so it's showing here. I will select this lookup, go next, and here we need to select the column. So here what you can see that this is our the base column, that key columns. Based on the key we can fetch the value. So as this integration is going to call BI report for AP invoices, so I will use this one, right? And this is the name of report code, right? So here we will select source column as a report code, and now destination column. So in this variable, what value we are going to fetch? We are going to fetch values as a report path, right? So I will select as a target report path. So yeah, this is report path. Now done, go next. I don't want to provide any default value, so I will escape here, just go to next, and done. So here instead of that one, after that we need to change the source, right? The source. So what source value will be? So this will be the hard coded value, that invoice report, as we have created this integration for invoice report. So I will make a hard code here. So based on this invoice report, it will get the report path. So this will be the report path, and this report path will be stored in this variable only, in the default assign var for the variable var report path, right? So now that's validate, close. The same way what we will do, instead of report output format providing PDF here, instead of that what we will use lookup variable function for getting the lookup values. Again we will select the lookup, go next, select the source column as a report code, and then we will select target as a report output format, right? As we are going to get report output format only, go next, and don't want to provide default values, done. And here we have to, in source we have to provide the values, that value as invoice report inv rpt, validate, done. So based on that invoice code, the integration code, it will return back the data for the report path, report for output format. And what we here you can see the var email or and all, like even to from, even we can same add the same in our lookup also, right? So here let me add the email as to email, okay, and the second one from email. So from email will be same for all, that will be the no reply at oracle.com, and 2 will be the email ID what we want. So as you can see, this is the email ID I have given, so I will provide the same email ID there only, so that I don't want to do the any changes. Copy here, I will use here, and even if want to check, I can provide another email also. So these two email I have provided, the same email I just want to provide here for all this report also, right? So now done. So here, even if you will see, we can have the email for the success case or error case also, right? So instead of providing the single email, I can use the different one, the two email. Instead of two, I will use two email underscore success. This will be the success case, and there can be the error case also, right? So I will make one as a two email error, right? In case of error, we will use this email ID. So I, for right now, I will use the same. So save and close. For suppose in error case, I don't want to use second email, so I will use, in error case, I will use single email, so that you can also check that what value we are getting. Now done. So our lookup is ready. Now here we will use lookup. So instead of this one, I will use lookup function. For what we are using lookup for defining the email, right? Two emails. So I will select the integration lookup. I will select the default as a report code, and target values will be two success email, right? So here we'll use, so this is the default, so I will use two success, two email success. Now next, next, and here done. So instead of this source, I need to provide the value. So value is, what value we have is the invoice report code. In second integration or in another integration, we can use that employee assignment report or supplier report, whatever, so we can provide the value. So now here, this is the way you can use lookup for that. So this is the email, the two email for the success case. From email, it is also for the success case, right? So instead of this one, I will use lookup function, so that we can drag here, select the lookup, go next, select that source column will be the report code, and the target will be the, this is for the from email. So I will select from email phase, from email, right? Yeah, this one. Next, next, done. So instead of here the source, where is the source? Yeah, source, we need to provide the lookup code, that is, in integration code, that is invoice report, that validate close. So now here, as we have added that values for the SFTP server directory and all, so I will use directory SFTP directory. So instead of this one, I will use lookup for that also. Now next, select column report code, and instead of this one, the directory, where is the SFTP directory? Yeah, SFTP report directory. Next, next, done. And instead of this source values, I will replace my code, so that based on that key code only, it will get the data. So now you can see we have added lookup for everything. Now here we have this email, where from email is for success case. Let me create variable for error case also. So here we'll use var to email underscore error. So here we will use lookup function again, drag lookup function. So in this way, just we can learn how we can use lookup for getting the data from the runtime data from the lookup only, right? So here this is the error case. So this is for two emails, so I will use two email error. Next, next, done. So instead of source, I will use the lookup code. I have made it already, copy invoice report code, so that it will get the data for this row only, right? So now here we have to add one more variable for error, var to var from email underscore error. So this will be the from for error. So I will use lookup values, again select lookup, go next, source as a report code, and the target will be the from error. So where is the error, from error? Okay, so from will be same for both, right? So at the time we don't require even from error. You can see here we have not added, we have just added two error, two email error, two email success, right? So we don't require, because from will be the same for error or success, everything. So we will use the same, that the from next, next, done, and the source, instead of source we will use the code. Now our variable is ready to get data from the runtime, data from the lookup only. So validate it, close, and done. So here you can see what it will do is that it will get the lookup data in this variable, that variable value we have used in our integration somewhere like here, and that based on this report it will get the bi report data. That data will be converted in file reference with the help of write file operation, and with the help of write file ftp adapter we will place the file over sftp server, so whatever directory we have provided. So now we have to save this one and close. So here you can see we have not added email logic here. So if we want to send the email, we can add a notification here for sending the email. So let me add the notification. So send success notification. As we have not added logic to handle the exception, that's why we are not going to add anything here. So that it is the from. So we have already created variable for from success. So this where from email is for success only. So validated and close, and this is 2. So we have 2 email from 2 email, right? This is error, so I don't want to get error. Just want to take success for the 2 email. Now here we have to provide body. So here we will use file placed over SFTP server. Done, close, and everything is done. Here we will use hi team, please find attach file which we have placed over SFTP server. Regards, YC support team. And here we have to provide the file reference. That file reference will come from the write operation only. So here you can see write request, instead of request we will go write file response. Expand here. So whenever you will get error, that kind of error, that blinking error, you need to just close and you need to open this endpoint again. There can be the network issue or anything, so don't worry about that, just expand here. So after expand you can see the file name, and okay, so here we don't have file reference while sending the email. Because we don't have file reference, because of that, let me explain you. Because of that we have not created the file, we just read the file here, right? You can see. So here we have write the file and provided the structure file writing the file, right? So here instead of that we don't have the file references, but we have file references in that write file only, right? We don't have file references here, but we have file references. So again, if we'll go to the notification, open, and if we will go write files, that time I was checking for different, yeah, you can see write file stage response. And here if you will expand, you can see ICS file. Inside that we have the file reference, yeah. So I will drag this file reference here, flag done. So now if you will see, we have in the lookup already we have provided the file prefix, right? So where we use this file prefix, if you will see, while creating the file in the write file, you can see here, right? Here we provided the file name. So what kind of file name will be? So instead of making the hard code of this xx invoice, this value we will get from lookup. So instead of that, what we will do, we will edit this one the our values, right? So what I will do, I will use here. So instead of this one, right, I will get data from lookup only, right? I will get data from lookup. So here what we will do, I will remove this one, and here instead of that I will get the lookup values. So I will first get the values from lookup. So I will use lookup. Okay, so we cannot use file lookup here. So instead of that, what we can do, go back, no, cancel. So here we can create one more variable. That variable will store the prefix value of the file name, where file prefix. And here we will use lookup, because we cannot use lookup directly while adding the file name. So we'll use lookup. This lookup will be dragged here. Lookup name, lookup the source will be report code, and that value will be file prefix, this one. Next, next, done. So here we have to provide the source. So source I will use this one, so that based on this we can get all the data. So now done, validate and close. So here in the right stage, only right stage, instead of providing the values here, hard coded values, so instead of these values, what we can use is that instead of that we can use the variable, right? So we have variable file with the file name, so we'll use that variable. You can see the file prefix somewhere we have. Yeah, this one, file prefix, I will drag here. So you can see save. So here you can see this file prefix will be our first data, then after we concatenated the date. So just save. As we want to provide the space after file prefix or underscore after file prefix, so what you can do, we can make another concrete as underscore. So here you can see this will the file prefix value, then underscore, then the timestamp, right? And the report format, that CSV or PDF, whatever will be there. So now done. Next, 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 done. You have, if you have not watched previous videos where I have added all these things, you can go and you can watch from here only the first videos, second videos, and third videos. So now our integration is ready, and now it's ready for activate. So just close. So I'm just going to enable the tracing variable, activate here, and now it will be activated. So just now it's time to submit. So once we submit, it's generated the ID as 2001. So what I will do, I will open another instance. I just don't want to click here because I need to navigate again and again. So I just will go monitor, integration, and tracking. So here you can see this is the 2001, the same ID, and now it's success. It means that we got the email over server and the file is placed over the location, whatever location is there. So this is the location, home user, inside that report, home user, Fox OIC user, BI report, and the AP invoices report. If you will go and will connect the server here, let me connect the server with the user Fox OIC user. So here you can see we have the latest file. You have the latest file as here. What's the time? Today is the 9. So you can see here it's 4. Here you can see this is the latest file. This is the latest file we receive at the 49409. It's 410 from the server, as we added the underscore after the prefix xx. So here if you see the what's the benefit of that, if suppose if I want to change the prefix, so instead of xx invoice report, if I want to change the prefix xxx inv rpt, right, this one, and if I will save, right, and if I will run the integration, our file will be generated with this name only, right? So let me show you here. Let me activate, run this integration again, submit, and here you can see, right? If I will check here, you can see 20202 is activating. It's in queue status. So this is the simple example that how we can change the runtime values using lookup, and the same values we can use in integration. So if you will see here, integration succeeded, and if you will go server and check the file created with the new name, that is xxinv rpt underscore timestamp, and this is the CSV values, right? As we configure the report output format can be CSV, XML, or the PDF only. So if I will change the report output format here, instead of CSV to XML, we will get the XML file only, right? So here suppose I will add the XML also here, XML. So you can see the file will be generated with this name xxinv rpt xml underscore time concatenated, and the format as XML. So let me run this integration again. So now you can see this integration 3 is in queue. It's in progress now. Now you can see it succeed, and if I will go to the server and if refresh, you can see the new file with xxinv rpt xml underscore, you can see the extension as XML. If I will drag file here, you can see here, if I will go to the report, here. This is the file, right? This is the file. I will open this file here. You can see the XML file. So friend, this is the logic how we can implement lookup in our integration. So thank you so much for watching. If you like the video, don't forget to subscribe and don't forget to like and make a comment on that videos. That it will be like really it will be great for us to see your comments and reviews. Thank you so much for watching.